Welcome back everyone, and continuing on from the previous part, because I was worried about using or running out of grass to heal, I headed to Island's Edge to get the Regenerator's Ring. Now I wasn't really sure how I was going to get it here. There's a method to skip directly to the Regenerator's Ring by bypassing most of the map, because normally to get the Regenerator's Ring you do need to make your way through the map to the boss, and the ring is fairly close to where the boss is at the end. However, I've seen online, or I had seen online prior to playing, people do what's called the Regenerator skip, which is a trick to skip half of the level or most of the level so that you can get the Regenerator's Ring early. I figured I would come here and I would attempt to do the skip. I'd never done the skip before, but I just figured I'll attempt to do it. It didn't look that hard to do, and I thought if I can't pull off the skip, then I'll just play through the whole level to get the Regenerator's Ring, because I felt at this point that the Regenerator's Ring was going to be a bit of a lifesaver for helping me to preserve my grass. And look at that, look at my health. I almost died here. Crazy. That was so close. And really, these skeletons were the main reason why I didn't actually want to play this level through if I could avoid it so early. I just find these skeletons to be a real pain in the ass, and the fact that I almost got killed by that one there kind of validates the fact that I really wanted to pull off this Regenerator's Ring skip and get the hell out of here. As soon as he died, I felt a lot better, a lot safer, because I knew there was only one more skeleton to go. I didn't have to deal with any more than one, as long as I avoided those archers up the top. There's no enemy, there's only that one more skeleton enemy between where I am now and where the Regenerator's Ring is. So at this point I was feeling like pretty confident that I'd be able to get the Regenerator's Ring and get out of here, so long as I could pull off the skip. But I did decide to run out in the open here and risk being hit by those flying stingray creatures, just to see if I could pick up a couple of extra souls for leveling. There's probably more I could have grabbed here while I was here, but I didn't want to waste any time. I was going to come through this level at a later time anyway. Did not know about that trap until I heard it get pressed. I'd completely forgotten it was there. And the final skeleton is here. I just had to deal with him. And pulled off a good parry to do it. These two archers don't follow you as far as I'm aware. So the Regenerator skip is performed by rolling off the edge here, sprinting and rolling off the edge here onto that wall. I had no idea, that's all I knew, so I just thought I'll keep trying it, and luckily got it on the second go. Straight to the Regenerator's Ring. With that in hand, all I had to do was equip it and use an archstone to head back to the Nexus. And the other thing was, because I was able to get a few souls on that run, it actually gave me the ability to level up a little bit as well, which wasn't actually something I had planned. All I was doing was going for the Regenerator's Ring, and that was just a nice little bonus. Here I was debating whether or not to put all of my points into strength, but I realized I'd come close to dying to that skeleton and decided I needed points in vitality. And to be honest, if I was to do a rerun like this, I would put all of my initial points into vitality and endurance and not even worry about strength for a little while. I was still debating the most efficient path to try to take at this point, but I chose to just go to the Lord's Path, mainly because I was feeling pretty confident that with very minimal damage and very minimal stats, I could take out the Tower Knight without any trouble. And I couldn't remember if there was anything really really dangerous along the way to the Tower Knight. I didn't think there was, so yeah, that's why I chose to go this way instead of any other. I could have just run straight through this entire area and ignored these hoplites, but every soul counts when you're on a no-death run, so I thought I would kill them. And also, I wasn't trying to speedrun the game. I really wanted to play through the game. I was doing this for fun more than I was doing it for like the challenge. I just wanted to have a fun game with a challenge. So yeah, my whole intention was to play through as much of the game as I possibly could and not skip content as much as I possibly could.
You yonder, look at me. Clear out the soldiers.
And here we meet Ostrava for the second time. Once again, you just have to do what he asks, which is to kill all the soldiers that are blocking him in there so that he can get out. It's a part of his questline to keep him alive. This hoplite was a real pain in the ass, just could never get to his back, and while you're fighting him from the front, you do cop a spear unless you dodge it. As soon as I was hit by that one, I really should have backed off and healed. Another hit would have killed me and ended the run, so this was pretty reckless, but I was just really angry at it and I really wanted to kill it. So yeah, I didn't back off, and luckily he didn't get the better of me. Just clearing some weight from my inventory. I swear spear guys were my nemesis all the way through this. I just never learnt how to parry them. And here I was letting the Regenerator ring heal me, taking a little bit of a risk with this guy, but I really needed to preserve my grass. I knew at some point in the future I was going to fight some bosses that would be very difficult not to take damage from without a shield. Bosses like Flame Lurker and the Penetrator, and I wanted to make sure that when I got to those bosses I would have plenty of grass to heal as much as needed. So yeah, I wanted to use all my grass as infrequently as I possibly could. In a normal playthrough of Demon Souls, you can take out that dragon with arrows or with magic from this area. It's a fairly time-consuming, long-winded process, but you can do it. However, I'm doing a no ranged, no throwing items playthrough as well. So that dragon will never be killed in this playthrough. I won't be able to kill it. I could break. I mean, I do have to use a ranged sword to kill one boss that can't be, killed with fists. So it would be kind of fair to kill the dragon since it's one that can't be killed with fists. But the boss that can be killed without fists has a specific weapon devoted to that boss. I don't feel like killing this dragon with arrows is kind of in the same vein, so I decided I would not be able to kill the dragon in this playthrough.
Thank you. Time to forge ahead.
So that was the next step of Ostrava's questline, and you encounter him again later on, but that's all there was to do here, just to clear all those soldiers so that he can get out to continue his questline. Now I needed to proceed up to the other end of these tunnels, which was a little bit nerve-wracking because I remember in my first playthrough I died here to a bunch of wolves, and I knew the wolves were up here and I had no idea how with fists this fight was going to go. And I was so focused on wolves I completely forgot that there was any other guys like this one up here. So you can see me nervously stepping ahead here, trying to attract just one wolf at a time if I can. Fortunately it went well, and it was a relief to get past those wolves. Although I did have a little bit of a heart-stopping moment when that second wolf joined, but I was pretty happy to get past the wolves. I was thinking that was probably going to be the most dangerous part of the run to the Tower Knight boss. I was very relieved to be done with those wolves.
Hope you find.
Obviously I didn't need to speak to this merchant. I wasn't going to buy anything from him, but in trying to complete as much of the game as possible, has felt compelled to talk to all the merchants, no matter what. There's no need for me to keep that bow or anything else in my inventory that I don't need, so I made sure at every opportunity to clear my inventory to make myself as light as possible for fast rolling. I did not remember that there are a bunch of guys there. That came as a shock. I had been thinking the wolves were the biggest danger, but when I got to this part of the bridge, I remembered there are a bunch of tough enemies at the end of this bridge. I had no plan for how to deal with them because I couldn't remember exactly what type of enemies were there. So I just ran and went for it with the hope that I could deal with it on the fly. And fortunately pulled off that parry at the right, perfect moment. And that milked me so much I knew I had to waste one of my grass because I knew if he hit me again, that would have ended the playthrough. I debated whether it was worth trying to pick this up, but I thought if it's souls or grass, then I want it. I was just waiting for the dragon to light up the bridge, but it didn't. So it was easy to pick up and it was grass and I was happy about that. Because I had more health now, I was willing to try to parry enemies' attacks once I was at full health, in the hope of beating the enemy fast, but also to try to practice parrying since I was still a complete noob at it. Very hard though, parrying in Demon Souls. Just the timing is so finicky on different enemies. It's really hard to learn and takes a fair bit of practice, but I'm pretty sure with a bit of practice you'd be able to parry like 9 times out of 10. But for me, having just started parrying, I had had no practice and pretty much this game was about getting that practice. This is where I learnt that fists are absolutely 100% useless for trying to kill crystal lizards, sadly. I was pretty sure at this point that I'd completed the entire area. Wasn't 100%, but I thought, it doesn't matter, I'm at the fog wall for the Tower Knight and I can fight this boss now and come back and do whatever I might have missed if I can remember it later. Thing about the game is, the more I look at these areas as I'm proceeding through them, the more I remember the things that I don't remember when I'm not playing. So anyway, it was time for the Tower Knight boss. I had made a guide on this previously on how to beat the Tower Knight boss without taking any damage, but that was with a magic sword, and I knew the Tower Knight was weak to magic, but I didn't have that on my side here. All I knew was this was probably going to be a very long fight, and it was. Long enough to be a video all by itself. For that, check out the next part, part 6. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.